Let's bring in our think tank. Family law attorney, law professor Randy Kessler, former law enforcement officer and host of Strong Enough podcast, Claudia King, and criminal defense attorney Josh Kolsrud. Great to see everyone tonight. Hey, Randy, you think the Adelsons have those street smarts?
You know, I think that might have just been a gift to the defense, because if I'm the defense lawyer, my closing is going to be, did they react like a guilty person? Maybe. Did they react like an innocent person? Maybe. You would react the same way if someone that has been in jail and is around all these criminals, these ex-felons, saying this guy's not taken care of, you better fess up, you better do this. If you're innocent, you still want to make that go away. So, I don't know if this wins the case for the prosecution.
Claudia, what do you think of the Adelsons and their reaction to the bump?
I think they do not have the street smarts that you've been talking about. And one thing I noticed that Donna said, where I think she kind of fell out of character for a moment, speaking with the undercover agent, she said, "I'm out of the loop." Not, "I have no idea what you're talking about," not, "what is this going on," not, "I'm calling the police," but "I'm out of the loop." To say, like, I'm not in this part of it, so you need to talk to somebody else.
All right, Josh Kolsrud, what's the innocent explanation for a family where a former in-law, the father of these two little boys, was executed? Someone who says they're connected to the executioner is calling them and bumping into them, yet there is zero fear. There's no fear for their safety. What is going on here? Why is there no call to police? There's no, "Oh my goodness, someone's after us. Get the kids to safety."
Well, you have to remember that this street stunt by the government occurred about 2 years after the homicide. When a prosecutor or the government has a good case, they usually don't have to resort to theatrics. And here they created a fake scenario. And then when Donna doesn't react in the way that they would expect her to act in their fake scenario, they say that this is the smoking gun. I mean, come on, really. I mean, what do we know from this that we didn't know before? We have this idea that there's a conspiracy, but the government is filling in all the holes and implying that there's some sinister motive for everything that they can't explain. And that was the purpose of today's testimony. You basically heard a narrator explaining what he thought the coded language was, when in reality, what you don't have is you have a mother who is concerned about her family. You also have a mother who thinks that her entire family is under the microscope. I mean, why would she go to law enforcement when she's obviously a suspect and so is everybody else?
Why are they going to a secret place here to meet, Randy?
Well,
why can't they just? Why do they have to? Why do they have to go by the marina to have this conversation? Why can't they speak on the phone? Why can't they speak at their apartment? Why can't they speak at the Adelson Institute?
That must mean she's a murderer. That must mean she's a murderer. She met in a secret place. Holy cow, that's your smoking gun, Vinny?
That's
not talking about conspiracy. It didn't get for P. Diddy, did it? Conspiracy doesn't mean that after the crime, you get a bunch of phone calls and you stitch them together and you say the prosecution and the investigators called. Conspiracy means before the crime, they talked about it and they conspired and they organized a plan. They're trying to, after the fact, piece this together into a conspiracy. Conspiracy is a very hard way to get a conviction, as we saw in the P. Diddy case.
Well, that was a little different. P. Diddy was directly involved in some of those stunts, which the jury didn't believe was a crime. That's completely different. There is absolutely a crime here, Claudia King. Dan Markel is dead. He was executed in his driveway. The Latin King and Sigfredo had no reason to drive 400 miles up north to whack Dan. There was no incentive for that other than money. So, all right, we've got more to get to.